Hey Claire, I wanted to fill you in on my journey. I've got my meds, my documents, and a bag full of nerves. Literally. It's such a strange mix of excitement and anxiety, the feeling of stepping into the unknown, leaving behind the familiar. The check-in process went smoother than I expected. I think I had psyched myself up for some sort of grand airport drama, but thankfully, everything was pretty straightforward. There was a moment at security when I was fumbling through my bag for what felt like forever. Then, I couldn't find the prescription paperwork, which I thought they needed, but they hardly looked at it. So, all in all, I managed to get through without any major hiccups. Now I'm sitting at the gate, waiting to board. It's a funny thing, waiting. There's a quiet hum of conversations around me, the clatter of suitcases, and the occasional announcement that makes my heart skip a beat. I keep glancing at the departure board, half expecting it to suddenly say cancelled, but so far, so good. I can't help but look around at everyone else, wondering what their stories are. Yes, I have eaten. I grabbed a coffee and a sandwich. I keep thinking about the long flight ahead. It still feels surreal. New Zealand feels like a million miles away, which I guess it technically is, but knowing you're cheering me on from the other side of the world makes me feel a little braver. The flight is going to be long, over 24 hours with a stopover in Singapore. I've never been on a plane for that long before, and I'm not sure how I'll handle it. Then again, I'm not sure if I'm more nervous about the flight itself or the fact that I'm really doing this. I've packed a few books, some downloaded shows, and the journal you gave me. I'm hoping I can distract myself, maybe even sleep a bit, but knowing me, I'll probably be staring at the flight map, watching every single mile tick by. I'll check in again once I land in Auckland. Fingers crossed for an easy flight, and that I'll manage to get some sleep. Miss you already. Love, Sadie. I've just hit send on the email to Claire, and now I'm sitting here at the gate, feeling this unexpected wave of sadness. I was fine a moment ago, jittery with nerves, but still fine. And now, suddenly, the reality of what I'm doing is sinking in. I won't see Claire for a whole year. A year. It feels like I'm leaving my mother behind. God, what a laughable thought. My biological mother was a drunk who couldn't care less about having a kid. I left home when I was 14, and I'm not even sure if she or my waste of a dad noticed. They were always with their drinking buddies, too busy resenting me for existing, for getting in the way of their so-called fun. I spent those years sofa hopping, moving from one friend's place to another until they or their families had enough of me, then moved on, hoping to find somewhere that I could feel comfortable in. And then, in my 20s, I met Claire. She was a complete stranger, but somehow she saw me. I mean, really saw me. She offered me a job, a chance, and more importantly, a place where I felt safe for the first time in years. Working for Claire was like stepping into the light after so many years in the dark. She didn't just give me a job. She gave me a sense of purpose, a place to belong. I think about the many mornings in our cosy kitchen at work. Her building was a 4-story townhouse which Claire had converted the ground and first floor into her offices, and the top 2 as her home. The front room is the reception, warm and inviting, with an old mahogany desk and a mismatched assortment of chairs that somehow all fit together. Just past it, the kitchen, our little sanctuary, with the smell of coffee filling the air every morning and the sun streaming through the window, casting a golden glow across a battered wooden table pushed up against the wall and shelves overflowing with mismatched crockery, vintage teacups, brightly coloured plates, and mugs with chips in them that Claire refuses to throw away. My office is in the back, a small room with my desk and a wall of shelving lined with boxes all neatly positioned, nothing out of place, just how I liked it. And an oversized patchwork armchair that took up a third of the space. This is where I sat with my laptop most of the day. In contrast, Claire's office takes up the entire first floor. A big, open-plan area that used to be 3 separate rooms until she had the walls knocked down. It's a treasure trove. The walls were covered floor to ceiling with paintings and sketches, everything from classic landscapes to abstract bursts of colour. Sculptures jostled for space on every surface, from delicate glass pieces that caught the light to bold, heavy metal figures that seemed almost alive. There were stacks of books piled haphazardly everywhere, art books, novels, old travel guides with frayed covers, spilling out of bookcases and onto the floor. An old chaise longue, upholstered in faded floral fabric, was tucked into a corner, almost buried under more artwork and fabric swatches. And now here I am, about to leave all of that behind. It's terrifying, but also necessary. I know I need to do this, to see what else is out there, to prove to myself that I can. But the thought of not seeing Claire for a year feels like I'm ripping out a part of myself and leaving it behind. Maybe that's why this sadness is creeping in, like I'm a kid again, scared of being alone. But I have to remind myself of why I'm here, why I'm taking this leap. I'm doing this for me, to grow, to explore, to live. Claire would want that for me. She's always encouraged me to chase my dreams, to not let the past dictate my future. Maybe if my parents were alive today, and not drunk, they may want this for me too. I wipe away an errant tear and take a deep breath. I know Claire will be there when I get back, with that warm smile and a hug that feels like home. I'm so grateful to have her in my life, and maybe that's what this sadness really is, a reminder of how much she means to me. I'm jolted back to the present by the crackling of the loudspeaker. The boarding announcement for my flight blares out, sharp and urgent, echoing through the airport. It takes me a moment to process the words, to let go of the thoughts swirling around in my head. My heart skips a beat. This is it. My plane is boarding. I'm really leaving. Come on, you got this, girl.